10 quirks of Britain that continue to mystify the world. Every country has its quirks, but Britain seems to collect them like souvenirs. For centuries, visitors have arrived on these islands and left both charmed and baffled by the little habits woven into daily life. From an obsession with tea to the mysterious pronunciation of place names, British culture is a patchwork of traditions that confuse outsiders but feel perfectly normal to locals. Today, we'll explore 10 quirks of Britain that continue to mystify the world. Some funny, some peculiar, but all distinctly British. 10. The sacred art of queuing. If you want to understand the British psyche, watch a queue. It's not just waiting in line, it's practically a social contract. There's a quiet pride in forming an orderly line, even if no one asked for it. At bus stops, ticket counters, supermarkets, and even festival toilets, the queue is sacred ground. What mystifies the world is just how patient the British are. Queue jumping is one of the gravest cultural sins you can commit. Even schoolchildren know instinctively that the back of the line is the only proper place to stand. Polls suggest the average Brit spends around 51 minutes a week queuing. That's nearly 2 days a year. It may seem excessive, but for Brits, queuing is less about time lost and more about a quiet, shared ritual that holds society together. 9. Talking about the weather like it's breaking news. Where some countries talk about politics or sports, Britain has one go-to conversation starter: the weather. Rain, drizzle, sunshine, or fog. Each gets its share of airtime. It's not just small talk, it's a safe and universal way to connect with strangers. Why is this so mystifying? Because in much of the world, weather is discussed only when extreme. Heat waves, hurricanes, or blizzards. In Britain, though, lovely day, isn't it, is a cultural script. And it's not just a cliché. A 2025 Met Office survey found that 43% of Britons use weather to start conversations, and 28% talk about it daily. With such an unpredictable climate, it's no wonder the forecast feels like national news. 8. The mystery of 2 separate taps. Step into a traditional British bathroom and you might find yourself confronted with a puzzle. 2 taps. One spits out icy cold water, the other steaming hot. Foreigners wonder, why not just mix them? The answer lies in history. Older plumbing systems kept hot water in separate storage tanks, often not safe for direct drinking. Regulations once required that hot and cold water supplies remain separate, so taps were installed accordingly. Today, mixer taps are standard in new builds and renovated homes, so long as they include backflow protection to prevent contamination. Still, the 2-tap legacy persists in older houses, pubs, and hotels. And here's another surprise for visitors. The safest water for drinking is usually from the mains-fed kitchen cold tap, not the bathroom sink. 7. Apologising for everything, even when it's not their fault. Imagine bumping into someone on the London Underground. Chances are they'll say sorry before you do. Brits are masters of the apology, and not always in situations that demand one. This quirk baffles foreigners, who often see an apology as an admission of guilt. In Britain, though, it's more about maintaining harmony and politeness. Saying sorry is shorthand for, "I acknowledge this awkwardness, let's move on." Comparative surveys even show that Britons are more likely than Americans to apologise for everyday mishaps, things beyond their control. For outsiders, it feels excessive. For Brits, the apology is a social lubricant that keeps interactions running smoothly. 6. Pub culture and the tradition of rounds. The British pub is more than just a place to drink. It's a cultural institution. Step inside and you'll find locals gathering not just for pints, but for community. From dartboards to pub quizzes, the pub is where friendships are cemented. But what often confuses visitors is the tradition of buying rounds. One person buys drinks for everyone, and then the next person takes their turn. It's a system based on trust, fairness, and a deep sense of etiquette. Miss your round, and you may quietly lose respect from the group. Why does this mystify the world? Because elsewhere, people often buy their own drinks. But in Britain, rounds symbolise togetherness. They create an unspoken bond between drinkers, a sense of shared belonging that outsiders may not fully grasp until they've experienced it themselves. 5. Tea as the solution to everything. In Britain, tea isn't just a drink, it's a cure, a comfort, and sometimes even a celebration. Having a bad day? Someone will say, "Let's put the kettle on." Got good news? Tea? Someone's crying? Definitely tea. And this isn't just sentiment. The UK Tea and Infusions Association estimates that Britons consume about 100 million cups of tea every single day. That's nearly 36 billion a year. The kettle is practically a national symbol. Even the finer details can spark debate. Some argue milk should go in first, others insist it should go in last. For the record, UKTIA guidance says, brew first, remove the bag, then add milk. Outsiders may chuckle at such seriousness over a drink, but for Brits, it's woven into daily life. 4. Marmite, the great divider. Few foods spark as much debate as Marmite, a dark, salty spread made from yeast extract. Its slogan, "Love it or hate it," sums up the national divide perfectly. Some Brits slather it on toast daily, others gag at the smell. Foreigners trying Marmite for the first time are often bewildered. Its sharp, savoury punch is unlike anything else. Yet it remains a beloved staple in many British homes. To the world, it's a quirky taste test. To Britain, it's part of the kitchen cupboard essentials, at least for half the population. This division is so deep that even advertising campaigns lean into it, proudly acknowledging that not everyone can stomach it. Outsiders may find it odd for a country to celebrate a food that many dislike, but that's exactly what makes Marmite so British. 3rd, reluctance to turn on the heating. Britain has a curious relationship with heating. Even in the depths of winter, many households delay turning it on, preferring jumpers, blankets, and hot water bottles. Visitors from colder countries are often shocked. How are you not freezing? Part of this comes down to rising energy costs, but thriftiness and resilience also play a role. A make-do and mend mentality still lingers from wartime rationing and post-war austerity. Official health guidance recommends keeping rooms you use regularly at 18 degrees Celsius or above, with about 21 degrees Celsius for living rooms considered comfortable. Yet, during recent energy price spikes, surveys showed that many households cut back on heating to save money. For outsiders, this feels like unnecessary suffering. For Brits, it's both practicality and pride. 2. Place names that defy pronunciation. One of Britain's most mystifying quirks is its place names. To the uninitiated, towns like Leicester, Worcestershire and Reading are tongue twisters. Leicester looks like Leicester, but is pronounced Leicester. Worcestershire is usually shortened to Worcester. Reading, depending on context, could be Reading, or, if talking about books, reading. Visitors often feel like they're failing a secret language test. Even seasoned travellers stumble when faced with names like Towcester, Toaster, Cholmondeley, Chumley, or Featherstone-Haugh, Fanshawe. This oddity comes from centuries of linguistic layering: Celtic, Anglo-Saxon, Viking, Norman French, all leaving their marks on spelling and pronunciation. The result is a map full of traps for outsiders. Brits, meanwhile, take pride in the confusion. It's part of the charm, part of the tradition, and part of why Britain's geography mystifies the world. 1. The famous stiff upper lip. If there's one quirk that truly mystifies the world, it's the British stiff upper lip. This cultural trait emphasises staying calm, composed, and unemotional, even in difficult circumstances. Historically, it became a marker of British identity during the Victorian era and again in the World Wars, when Stoicism was a source of national pride. Even today, it lingers in subtle ways. Brits may downplay problems, avoid dramatic displays, and meet chaos with quiet humour. Where other cultures embrace passionate expression, Britain often prizes understatement. For outsiders, this can be puzzling. How can a nation keep such composure through crises? For Brits, it's just another way of keeping calm and carrying on, a phrase that itself has become a cultural shorthand for resilience. From queuing rituals to the mysteries of Marmite, Britain's quirks reveal a culture both charming and puzzling. These habits might leave outsiders scratching their heads, but they also form the glue that holds British identity together. And so, these 10 quirks of Britain that continue to mystify the world will remain timeless puzzles, making the UK one of the most fascinating places on Earth. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.